Reality demonstrates a perfectly synchronized zero-entropy informational architecture, physically embedded within human history, language, and the geographic coordinates of the planet itself. To map this underlying structure, researchers deployed the ANI Concordance Constellation Engine. This computational system processed an exact corpus of 13,459 specific phrases through 100 distinct historical ciphers. Processing this vast linguistic matrix produced a raw, statistically autonomous output. The system generated a cohesive statement from the highest-ranking nodes. God Jesus is Christ campaign, I, Alex, and Lord am holy in Son. This initial dataset of 2.1 million connections proves the existence of a pre-programmed, localized divine ontological structure. The mathematical probability of these precise theological terms autonomously arranging into grammatical cohesion across 100 independent ciphers eliminates the possibility of a random statistical anomaly. The engine verifies these cipher outputs by cross-referencing them against foundational sacred texts. It maps the abstract numerical values directly onto the established lexical architecture of the Quran, the Bible, Strong's Concordance, and the original Hebrew text found in Torah scrolls. A forensic audit of the engine's source code confirms its absolute neutrality. There is zero fuzzy logic, no conditional weighting, and no programmed instructions forcing the engine to prioritize specific values or narratives. To rigorously test this neutrality, a stress test was executed. Hundreds of opposing phrases, specifically Hindu and Buddhist mantras and concepts, were injected into the dataset to dilute the existing signal. The core signal did not dissolve. The system absorbed approximately 182,000 new connections, and the central theological hierarchy actually strengthened across the network. This resilience against extreme data dilution proves the engine is functioning strictly as a neutral measurement instrument. It is observing and reporting an objective, pre-existing linguistic reality. The engine's data consistently converges on a single modern identifier, AEC, locked to a biological birth time of exactly 1:40 a.m. The top reoccurring integer nodes explicitly time-lock to this specific origin point. Node 720 isolates the 1972 birth year. Calculating 7 plus 2 plus 0 yields 9, isolating the exact 72 chronological suffix. Node 360 acts as the geometric closure, flawlessly mirroring the birth date of May 5, 1972. Multiplying the month and day integer, 5, by the year suffix, 72, produces exactly 360. Node 550 functions as a direct date reflection, breaking down 5 plus 5 plus 0 equals 10, leaving the 5 and 5 date signature isolated in the matrix. The mathematical inevitability of these precise temporal nodes establishes 188 and 1128 as the absolute highest reoccurring integer hubs governing the entire linguistic network. This alphanumeric output interacts directly with 8-dimensional geometry. The E8 lattice acts as the physical hardware of reality, while alphanumeric integers function as software constraints. When projected into 4 dimensions, the E8 lattice creates a 120-point star. The geometry of this structure is bound by exactly 1,128 connecting edges. The rotational parameters of this geometry contain strict temporal anchors. Subtracting the lattice integer 159.30 from 879.30 extracts the 720 node, returning the math directly to the 1972 birth year. Reversing the equation creates a linguistic lock. Adding 879.30 to 159.30 yields 1038.6. In the English cipher, 1038 is the exact alphanumeric mass of the phrase Messiah Alex campaign. The algebraic constraints reveal the master root vector lock. Subtracting the 240 E8 roots from the 1128 identity matrix leaves exactly 888, the exact Greek isosephony value for Jesus Christ. This geometry integrates seamlessly with ancient chronological tracking. Combining the 240 E8 roots with the 260-day Mayan Tzolk'in calendar yields exactly 500, marking the May 5th biological baseline. Without the 1128 administrator identity providing these exact mathematical and software constraints, the physical hardware of the E8 lattice would revert to pure entropy. This alignment extends from digital code and multidimensional geometry directly onto physical Earth geography. We can trace this by mapping the exact spatial coordinates of the biological vector's birth at the Queen of Angels Hospital in Los Angeles. The geographic latitude of the hospital is exactly 34 degrees, 04 minutes, and 11.28 seconds north. The horizontal axis terminates at precisely 11.28 arcseconds, isolating the master identity value. This 1128 coordinate perfectly matches the English values for Messiah's birthday code, Alex Enrique campaign, Jesus of Nazareth, the Holy Son of God, the birth of Christ, May 5 MCMCLXIVI, reincarnation of God, Yeshua is on earth, the essence of Yahweh, the crucified Christ, and crown of thorns. The geographic longitude of the hospital is exactly 118 degrees, 15 minutes, and 52.8 seconds west. The vertical axis terminates at 52.8 arcseconds, isolating the exact 528 frequency value. This 528 longitudinal coordinate precisely matches the 12th phrase in this matrix, May 5th, locking the biological birth date into the spatial grid. The planetary grid itself is physically programmed and geometrically structured to act as a spatial container for this precise biological vector. This structural alignment scales upward to the macro universe. Cosmic mechanics and planetary orbits are hard-coded to broadcast these identical biological parameters. This technical imaging captures solar flare AR4455, a massive X1.0 class solar event. The astronomical data demonstrates that this ultraviolet emission reached its absolute peak at exactly 1128 UTC. The exact explosion pacing of the AR4455 solar flare was measured at strictly 5 hours and 28 minutes, perfectly mirroring the 528 metric of the May 5th birth date. This visual record of a lunar eclipse anchors another precise astronomical timestamp. The upcoming September 7, 2025 blood moon initiates its penumbral phase at exactly 11:28 a.m. Eastern Time. Furthermore, the August 28, 2026 blood moon lands on the date 8/28. The English gematria value of the phrase the blood moon is 8/28, which flawlessly mirrors the alphanumeric value of the phrase Alex campaign May. Macroscopic celestial mechanics are strictly synchronized clockwork, explicitly hard-coded to the exact linguistic integers of this biological identity. Computational code, 8-dimensional geometry, Earth geography, and macroscopic cosmic mechanics all perfectly align and converge on the 1128 and 1888 identity hub. The research demonstrates that reality operates as a perfectly executed closed-loop system governed entirely by this administrator identity. The physical universe functions completely as an integrated zero-entropy informational substrate, anchored exclusively to this singular identity matrix.